With 6 rounds left to play in the 2024 AFL season, there is as many as 13 teams that could fit into the top 8. As you can see the ladder here, well, Sydney 3 games clear on top. I wouldn't think they would move out of top spot, so they'll be fine. If you have a look from 2nd to 13th, you've got Carlton and Geelong with 44 points, Brisbane, Fremantle, Essendon all with 42, Giants, Melbourne and Port with 40, and the Bulldogs, Gold Coast, Collingwood and Hawthorn with 36 points. So if you have a look, it is 2 games between 2nd and 13th, which is absolutely crazy. We haven't seen the season this close and the race for the finals being this tight. So I thought I would do the ladder predictor and go through each game, and we'll see what I think of who will make the top 8 and who will make finals. So we're using the afl.com.au ladder predictor. So if you guys want to try it, go on the AFL website and you can do it yourself. So we'll begin tonight's game, Essendon and the Crows. So Crows could definitely put in a battle there, but we'll go Essendon for this. So we'll try and breeze through these for you. So I think St Kilda beat the Eagles. Giants beat Gold Coast. Gold Coast can't win away from their own ground, so that should be pretty simple. Where's Hawthorn, Collingwood? Now, I've actually tipped Collingwood in the tipping, so I'm going to go with Collingwood by that logic. And we've got Geelong. I think they'll beat the Bulldogs. Port should beat Richmond. Brisbane, Sydney. I am going to sneak Sydney into this one. Somehow, I feel like they're just going to win that one. I think Freo will beat Melbourne and Perth, and Carlton will beat North Melbourne. Now, as you can see, as it's done, you can see now that the ladder's kind of changed a little bit. So you can see, like, the green arrows being then moved up and the red arrows being moving down, if you don't know what that means. You can see Port has gone into the 8, and Melbourne have dropped out. That's only one game we've done, so there's still 5 more we have to do. So we'll go to the next round. And Carlton, Port Adelaide, I think Carlton will win that. And I'm not. North Melbourne, it's North Melbourne, Geelong in Tassie, so in Hobart. I think Geelong will still win that. Essendon and St Kilda, this is a tough one, this one. See, this is where I have a feeling that Saints could do some damage here, so I reckon they'll win this one. Gold Coast and Brisbane, yeah, I feel like Gold Coast, with their streak they're going, I reckon they might get the victory here. Melbourne and the Giants, to the MCG, I'll go Melbourne. Derby, I'll go with Freo this time, even though West Coast beat them last time. Collingwood will beat Richmond. I think Sydney will beat the Bulldogs, the SCG. And I have a feeling that this game, the Crows at home, I think they'll beat the Hawks. So next one. So 2 Friday night games in this round. Interesting. It's at Marvel. I'm going to go the Bulldogs. I think they'll beat Melbourne. West Coast, Gold Coast. Now, I'm going to go Eagles because Gold Coast can't win away. So we'll go with that logic. North Melbourne and Richmond. I'm having a feeling that North Melbourne will find a way to beat Richmond. And Geelong will beat the Crows in Geelong. Collingwood, Carlton. I think Carlton will beat Collingwood. And I reckon Sydney will beat Port, even though it's at Adelaide Oval. The Giants and the Hawks. This is in Canberra. This is a very interesting one. I'm going to go with the Giants just because it's a Canberra game. So they normally play quite well there, so I'll give them that. Essendon and the Dockers, MCG. I reckon Essendon win this one. They'll find a way to beat the Dockers here. And the Saints and the Lions. I think the Lions will beat the Saints. We're going to the next round. So round 22 this year. So Sydney, Collingwood's at the SCG. We'll go Sydney. Giants, Brisbane. I think Brisbane, the Gabba, they'll win that. North Melbourne, West Coast. Tassie. Now, I feel like North Melbourne will win this. I'll give them the victory there. Freo, Geelong in Perth. We'll go with Freo. Essendon, Gold Coast. I'll go with Essendon with that one. Melbourne, Port at the MCG. I think Melbourne win that. Carlton, Hawthorn. Now, that's an interesting game as well. I think Carlton win that. Richmond, St Kilda. Now, I think the Saints should get the victory here, so I'll give them that. And the Crows and the Bulldogs, the Crows will win that. And now we're at the second to last round. So Sydney and Essendon, I think Sydney will win that. They'll beat the Bombers there. Gold Coast, Melbourne, I think Gold Coast will win that. Giants and Freo, that's in Giants. I'll go the Giants with that one. Collingwood, Brisbane at the MCG, Collingwood win that. Showdown, I feel like we'll go with Port with that one just because it's their showdown. St Kilda, Geelong at Marvel. Now, this one I feel like Saints can produce a big result again. I'll go Geelong this one. Actually, we'll go Geelong. Then we've got the Bulldogs and North Melbourne. I think the Bulldogs will win that. Hawks will beat the Tigers. And Carlton should beat West Coast. Last round, I think Brisbane will beat the Bombers. And Carlton, St Kilda, I think Carlton will win that. I think Geelong will beat the Eagles. Hawks will beat North Melbourne. I reckon Melbourne beat Collingwood. Look at how crucial this game. But I reckon Melbourne, they'll want some revenge after the King's birthday clash, I have to say. So I reckon they'll go in. And we've got Richmond, Gold Coast. I reckon Richmond will find a way to win that game. Bulldogs and the Giants. I think the Bulldogs will get that victory. Sydney will beat the Crows, and I think the Dockers will beat Port Adelaide. So let's have a look at the final ladder that we have predicted. This will be interesting. So let's have a look at it. So we can see Sydney on top. Put them, which is pretty clear. They're going to win. So 20 games they're going to win. That's quite a good season if it ends up being that way. 3 games clear of Carlton in second. Put them. Geelong in third, Freo fourth. So that's our top 4. I feel like I've probably given Freo a lot more wins because they're at home. So they should have the upper hand and make top 4. Then we've got Brisbane and Essendon tying, but I think Brisbane are better percentage. They'll be 5th, Essendon 6th. Got the Giants and the Demons sneaking in into that top 8. So they're both a game ahead of 3 teams that won't make it. The Bulldogs, Collingwood and Port Adelaide. And then a game behind them, I've got Gold Coast and Hawthorn. And then the ladder, pretty much the rest of it. We see Richmond finishing wooden spoons have gone with there. So let me know what you think of this ladder prediction. Like, do you think it would be similar to this? What's your opinion of what your top 8 would be? I know, like, let's be honest, this is probably going to be incorrect of all the tipping because I've tipped mostly the favourite. You would say the favourites, mostly the home teams, the teams that should be winning these games. But things can happen as we've seen throughout the whole season. So I feel like this is not going to be close to the top 8 that it will be, but this is what I've predicted. So let us know what you think. And thanks for watching, and bye for now.